Oi! A cheeky little bastard just told me you wanted the boys review. Well, you've come to the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, FearTheBeardo here. Welcome to a brand new The Boys Season 3 review video. Today we're going to take a look at the second half of Season 3 and the epic finale. Ladies and gentlemen, like always, we're not going to waste any time with spoiler-free talk. We're going to jump right into the juicy spoilers, talk about all of the story bits that made this season so great. So unlike the Kenobi reviews on this channel, where we started with the positives because there weren't that many and we would get into the negatives, well, here we're going to start with the negatives because there are so few. So a few of the negatives to start off. Frenchie's little side mission, side story that he goes off, the whole Russians, little Nina, his French girlfriend, and with Kimiko. Kind of like Season 2, it didn't really stick with me. It was kind of boring. It felt unnecessary. It kind of just felt like filler. The show kind of tried to make the whole Russia bit relevant because Soldier Boy was captured by the Russians, but the whole part of Frenchie being kidnapped and Kimiko's musical numbers and her losing her powers and then wants to talk, can she talk? No. She wants to sing, can she sing? No. She gets her powers back. It was all kind of a waste of fucking time. Also, the Deep. I kind of like the Deep. The Deep is a very troubled, lost character. He doesn't really have anybody that cares for him, and he wants so badly to have somebody that cares for him, and that's why he latches on to Homelander and just wants to please Homelander. The Deep is very much a people pleaser, and that's because he went through his whole weird story arc with the Christian cult, the cult church that he was a part of in Season 2, and his whole fake wife, his appointed wife that doesn't really like him for all the right reasons, doesn't like him at all for any of the right reasons. The Deep doesn't necessarily know this, but the audience does. The audience clearly sees that she's in it for all of the wrong reasons. She just wants to get in with Vought and date somebody or marry somebody who's in the Seven. But the Deep, the part where he's into fucking animals and he's with the octopus, and during the episode Herogasm where he fucks the octopus. And then later on where he's talking to his wife about spicing up their relationship and adding in another partner into their relationship and, spicing things up, getting things interesting. And she's kind of down for it until she realizes that he's talking about bringing in a fucking octopus and having a threesome with an octopus. That part, it was very strange. It didn't, obviously, that doesn't resonate with anybody. It kind of was just weird. It was The Boys weird, and The Boys does weird stuff really well, and they like doing weird shit like that, so I understand kind of why they did it, but it was weird. It didn't really make sense. It didn't add anything of value to the plot or the story was concerned as far as Season 3 goes. A-Train's little story arc. So A-Train, I feel like A-Train suffers sort of from being written into a corner in Season 2, and this whole season was kind of them rewriting him out of that corner they kind of backed him into in Season 2. So he tries to go on this whole kind of character exploration, finding himself, and he tries to play the whole like race card thing and Black Lives Matter, and he tries to do that whole kind of like I'm relevant because of that, and it was kind of weird. Like they try to do the whole like Africa origin story for A-Train, but he gets called out. He gets called out by people in the Seven. It's like, you don't give a shit about your roots. You don't give a shit about Africa. You don't give a shit about the slave trade. You don't give a shit about any of that. You're just fucking playing into that to hopefully it'll boost up your numbers. Because Vought, right? It's like Disney. They're all about fucking their projections and all of their figures and their charts and their numbers and everything like that. So A-Train is trying to kind of take advantage of that. But anyways, it didn't kind of really work. But what they did do is they gave him a new heart. So A-Train's villain was Blue Hawk, and Blue Hawk was this like thin blue line, kind of, they try to make it like a villain, I guess. Blue Hawk, and he injures and paralyzes A-Train's brother. So A-Train takes it out on Blue Hawk and fucking kills him, drags him across the concrete, across gravel for several miles, kills him, and then has a heart attack and almost fucking dies. Well, they give A-Train Blue Hawk's heart, which I'm sure they're kind of probably going to explore more in season 4 of how A-Train really feels about having this guy's heart. The guy he murdered, the guy that A-Train murdered, and also the guy that paralyzed A-Train's brother, he now has his heart in his body. And I'm sure they're gonna probably try to make that a story arc for A-Train in season 4. But as far as A-Train goes in season 3, they very much, the whole entire season was just rewriting him out of that corner they wrote him into in season 2. And that's kind of where the negatives end. There's not very many negatives. This season is fucking awesome. I love season 3 of The Boys. I will say right now, season 3 of The Boys is the best season of The Boys so far. I will say season 3, if I'm ranking the seasons, I would go season 3, season 1, and then season 2. Because season 2, I think we can all agree, took a step back from season 1. It was a little boring. They went the whole, Nazi route and did all of that stuff, and it wasn't very good. Season 3, the writing is fucking awesome. The acting. Karl Urban as Billy Butcher this season is fucking great. His British quips are on another level this season. I busted up laughing probably every episode from something that Butcher said to the boys. Also, Tony Starr as Homelander. I'm not personally FearTheBeardo. I'm not into the whole award shows, the Golden Globes, TV, movie award shows. I don't really give a fuck. I don't know. But I think that Tony Starr should be recognized in some way for his portrayal this season as Homelander. Homelander, we all kind of know, he's a crazy son of a bitch. He's a loose cannon. He's criminally insane, and more so in this season. I would say in episodes 1 through 7 this season, he is fucking batshit crazy. He is so off the chain. He is crazy. But in the finale, you see a little bit of a human side in Homelander, and you kind of see it. You can kind of tell it's when Soldier Boy tells Homelander that he's his kid, that Homelander is Soldier Boy's kid. It all kind of comes to Homelander. It's like, oh my gosh, I have a dad. I've never had a dad. I never felt like I had a family besides Ryan, who he couldn't get a hold of. He didn't know where he was. He finally has this father figure that he can look up to. Plus, he looked up to Soldier Boy his entire kid life growing up. He grew up watching Soldier Boy movies, he said. So for Homelander to find out that Soldier Boy's his father, you see in this last episode a more human side to Homelander. I mean, don't get me wrong. Homelander is completely irredeemable. He's an irredeemable character. He is too far gone off the deep end. He's done too many fucking terrible things to be redeemable. But you see a more human side to Homelander in this final episode, especially with Ryan. When he goes to pick up Ryan from Grace Mallory's house, because they move once shit happens. Grace Mallory and Ryan, they find a new house, a new location. Well, Victoria Newman helps Homelander find Ryan, and Homelander wants to help recruit Soldier Boy by using Ryan. So he uses Ryan and says, hey, look, Soldier Boy, like, you don't just have a son. Like, here's my son, your grandson. We can create this fucking super Homelander Soldier Boy team. And you see there's this unique thing, and it happens in this episode where Soldier Boy and Butcher are having a conversation of Soldier Boy's doubt into killing Homelander, and then Butcher trying to convince Soldier Boy, hey, listen, we had a deal. He's not your kid. The whole reason you were in Russia and fucking asleep and being tested on was because of Homelander. And you see Soldier Boy, he kind of tells this story about when he was a kid and his dad's him and his dad's dynamic, and how his dad, he was just a disappointment to his father. And then when he went to go get the V and get superpowers and went back to his dad, well, his dad told him, well, you cheated. A real man wouldn't have taking a shortcut. You're a disappointment. And then later on in this episode, when Homelander's trying to recruit Soldier Boy almost kind of does the same thing to Homelander that Soldier Boy's dad did to him. He looks at Homelander and calls him a fucking disappointment, insults him to his face. So that was interesting. Like I said, the writing in this season is top tier. They really stepped it up. And I don't know if they hire new writers. I didn't do that kind of research. I didn't look through the credits of each season. But whoever they had writing this season, the story building this season, awesome job. I actually also enjoyed Mother's Milk's side story. Mother's Milk had a good side story with his dynamic with his ex-wife and with his daughter and with his ex-wife's new boyfriend. So the ex-wife's new boyfriend is this Homelander fanboy who is the worst of the kind of... No, he's the worst. I don't know how else to explain it. He's the fucking worst. And he puts Mother's Milk's daughter in bad situations. And that's where you see Mother's Milk lash out on this guy. His name is Todd. You see him lash out on him. I enjoyed this side story of Mother's Milk. I felt like it worked. Also, it worked because Mother's Milk, this whole thing was all about his past trauma with Soldier Boy. So I felt that whole thing with Soldier Boy, his past, his grandfather dying, mixed with his problems with his ex-wife, the love for his daughter, and then the dislike or almost hatred towards his ex-wife's boyfriend, it worked well. I actually enjoyed, that was probably the only side quest or side story in this season that I felt worked, but the main quest, the main story revolving around the boys, Starlight, Maeve, against the Seven, was top tier entertainment as far as everything that's on TV right now, on these streaming services, on whatever it is. The Boys is the most entertaining media probably out there right now. I'm going to give Terminal List a shot. I've heard nothing but great things about it, but The Boys acting and writing is top fucking tier. Maeve also has a great story arc. So Maeve is the one who was the rat. She supplied the Temp V to Butcher, and her and Butcher had a little fling going on. Anyways, she hates Homelander, obviously for many reasons. The terrible things, the whole plane situation in season 1, terrible things that Homelander has done to Maeve. Well, Homelander puts Maeve in solitary confinement, and she's like, why aren't you just gonna kill me? And Homelander says, I don't want to kill you. Like, we used to date. Like, I actually loved you at one point, but you don't love me. And we could have created something special. We could have created a super army. And she goes, oh, what? So, like, you're going to rape me or whatever? He goes, no, I would never hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to do anything like that. But I will harvest your eggs, and I will fertilize your eggs in a petri dish, and I will use your DNA to create more Homelander. I will do that. I'm not going to do anything horrific to you, but I will harvest your eggs, and I will make more Homelander kids. And that deeply disturbs Maeve. So now Maeve wants to kill Homelander even more. So she attacks Homelander in the season finale. They have a pretty decent fight, but this is kind of where I'm saying Homelander, you see a more human side to him. He doesn't want to hurt Maeve. And throughout this series, and especially during this season, Homelander, when you're in a room with Homelander, you never know what the fuck he's going to do. Kind of exactly like what he did with Noir. So a little side conversation, a little bring it back. A little side conversation. Last episode, before the finale, they do a little thing with Black Noir. It's like, it seemed like they were really leading to something, because Black Noir, he was the one that eventually sold Soldier Boy to the Russians. Soldier Boy was the one that beat the fucking shit out of him, made him retarded, brain damage, a mute. That's what made Noir that we know now, is because Soldier Boy beat the living piss out of him to the point where he's now retarded. You think that it's going somewhere because Black Noir has this whole trip, this Chuck E. Cheese kind of Cinderella animal characters arc where he's seeing these cartoon chipmunks and squirrels and animals and birds are like talking to him, narrating kind of like his past. And you kind of see like it's the unique way that Black Noir's brain works now because he's mentally retarded. I don't know how else to say it. He's very severely brain damaged. And you think it's going to go somewhere in the finale. Well, nope, it doesn't, because Homelander fucking kills him. Homelander asks him to his face, "Did you know that Soldier Boy was my father this entire time?" And Noir doesn't lie to him because Noir actually kind of likes Homelander. So Noir tells him, he nods his head yes, because he's mute. And Homelander like puts his arm on his shoulder and he goes, "Noir, I wish you would have told me." And boom, punches his hand through his fucking gut, out through his back, grabs his fucking spine, rips it out of his body, rips his guts out, and Noir is fucking dead. So that's kind of this thing I'm talking about. You never know what Homelander's going to do at any moment. But in his fight with Maeve, when Maeve is really trying to attack him, he tells Maeve several times, Homelander tells Maeve several times, "Maeve, stop. I do not want to fight you. I do not want to hurt you. This isn't about me and you fighting right now." He wants to go fight Butcher. He wants to go fight Soldier Boy. So the interesting part about this whole entire season finale is that it's kind of all three against each other. It's not 2v1, it's 1v1v1. It's like a free-for-all. Butcher against Homelander and Soldier Boy against Butcher and Homelander against Soldier Boy and Butcher. No one is kind of teaming up here. It was all kind of a free-for-all. So Homelander pokes out Maeve's eye. Maeve lost her eye. And then she is ultimately the one to make the sacrifice play when Soldier Boy is going to, because Soldier Boy has that radioactive power where he can explode and wipe out somebody's superpowers. He can completely drain them of their suit powers, which is kind of what they were going to do in the Herogasm episode. And this is some of the great acting in this season. You can really feel Tony Starr's great acting in the Herogasm episode when you have Soldier Boy, Butcher, and Huey comes in towards the end when they're all fighting Homelander, and they have Homelander pinned down on the ground, and Soldier Boy is going to do his radioactive explosion to either potentially kill Homelander or at the very least take his powers. And you kind of feel, without Homelander saying anything, just his body language and his screaming and his panic, you feel like he is at his very last resort. You feel how desperate he is to get out of that situation, but he's like locked in. He's like almost like he's so claustrophobic. He's being held down. He's chained down by these superheroes, and he's gonna lose everything that Homelander is, that makes him Homelander, what makes him untouchable. He's about to lose, and you really feel how desperate he is to get out of that situation. At the very last second, he gets out of there. And that's where I'm saying you feel the writing, you feel the acting in this season. It is so fucking good. I forgot where I was going with this, but Maeve is the one that makes the sacrifice play when Soldier Boy is going to explode his radioactiveness and try to take away, well, first he tries to take away Homelander and Ryan's powers, and then Butcher attacks him, and then he's trying to take away Starlight's powers, and then Maeve is the one that tackles Soldier Boy out of the fucking building, and they're falling. What you think is to their death, Soldier Boy explodes. He explodes, and you really think that Maeve is gonna die, because while they're in free fall, she had to have lost her powers. So if she lost her powers in this free fall, you think, well, as soon as she hits the ground, it's splat, game over, Maeve dead. Well, somehow she does survive. She lost her powers. She's very much fucked up. She's lost an eye. They talk about, is she gonna get a glass eye or is she gonna get a pirate eye patch? And Starlight's like, oh, get the fucking pirate eye patch for sure, which is what I would do. I mean, fuck. So Maeve lost her powers, and that's kind of really the only real big casualty besides Noir. For this season finale, nobody really important dies besides Noir. Noir dies and Maeve lost her powers, but everybody else, all of the boys survive. Homelander survives, and then they leave Soldier Boy up to probably the writers for season 4. So the way that this season ended, when they probably wrapped filming the series, The Boys had not yet been renewed for a season 4. So they put him back into a cryogenic sleep, probably to test out and see how the audience feel about Soldier Boy. How did the audience feel about it? Was he well received? Did they want to keep him into season 4? Or if he wasn't well received, then they can write him out. They can do a different story. Is kind of where they left it as far as feedback that I'm seeing and how I feel and how friends of mine feel who enjoy this show. I suspect that Soldier Boy will probably be back next season. Jensen Ackles did a fantastic job, and from what it sounded like to me, he used his Batman voice, because Jensen Ackles voiced Batman in The Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2, the animated movie that came out last year. He used that voice for Batman as his Soldier Boy voice. Very good, very iconic, a good superhero voice, that's for sure. I loved this season. I thought it was awesome. Like I said, I would rank season 3 as the best boys season so far, with season 1 very closely after that, and then season 2 is obviously the worst season, not so good. But season 2, I mean, it's still not bad television compared to other fucking TV shows out there like Kenobi and Miss Marvel and shit like that. Like, The Boys season 2 ranks superb against those fucking TV shows. But as far as The Boys go, because we're so spoiled with the great writing and acting that is The Boys, season 2 does feel a little out of place compared to season 1 and season 3. But season 3 is a fucking masterpiece. I would recommend season 3 of The Boys if you are of mature age, if you are 18 and over, if you are okay with gore, strong sexual content, and strong language and violence. I would strongly recommend The Boys. The Boys season 3 is good television, it's good entertainment, it's good media, and it's funny. Like I said, Billy Butcher, his British quips in this show are awesome. I crack up at Billy Butcher. He is so fucking funny. Just the shit that he says, the shit that comes out of his mouth, you're like, holy fucking shit. And you like, it's great. It's great. So with all of that said, very much looking forward to The Boys season 4. Did you enjoy this season? Let me know what you thought of this season down in the comment section below. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Share this video with a friend who you think would enjoy it. Subscribe to this channel if you're new, and we'll talk to you again soon.